Hello everyone and welcome, I'm Beastly Eel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of My Adventures with Superman. So this episode was called The Death of Superman, and it lived up to the title, to be fair. Spoilers. So the episode starts off right where the last one ended, which was Superman and Supergirl going to face Hank Himshaw. They are doing okay. Um, Superman is facing Hank, and Supergirl is facing all of the Kryptonian robots. She's doing a pretty good job. So back on the Kent farm, Jonathan Kent Superboy, basically explains to his mother Lois that this came earlier than expected. Like, I wasn't expecting this to happen. This happened way too soon. And Lois is like, "Well, what are you talking about?" He goes, "This is the day Dad dies." And my friend Mike says this is also the day that Lois died. I don't know. I argued with him a little bit, but apparently it's in there, and I rewatched it, and he does say it, so it does bother me. But anyway, mentally, I did not think it was the same day Lois died. But anyway, the idea is like he didn't want anything bad to happen. He wanted things to go back to the way it was. But he basically tells his mother, "You need to stay here. Like, you cannot go over there. Like, it's not going to end well." And in true Lois fashion, she listens and then does the opposite. So he flies off to Metropolis to help everyone, and Lois gets the car with Jimmy, and they take off to Metropolis. Superman is getting his butt kicked up and down the place, left, right, center. His face is being used to break a couple of windows and buildings. Thought that was fun. He then whips out his kryptonite and starts beating Superman even harder. And we're getting flashes of what the future was supposed to be, or the present, which was Hank uses kryptonite to kill Superman, and beats him to a bloody pulp until he's dead. And then he blows up and takes over Metropolis with his lasers and taking over all of the technology around and blows everything to smithereens. And that there was a small faction that survived, and Kara and Jonathan were one of the last two people left, along with obviously Lex, Jimmy, and a couple others. We found out that Kara trained Jonathan, grew up, helped him grow up and everything else. And they do a great job of really pointing out the obvious, which was, Kara being like, "Why do you hate me?" And he's like, "I don't hate you. It's the opposite. You were the only one there for me, and watching you die was one of the hardest things for me to do, and I don't want to see it again." It just hurt everywhere. It hurts me in my feelings. And so now they're all just trying to beat up Hank Himshaw, and they're just struggling. Superman is literally covered in green kryptonite and unable to do much. Supergirl and Superboy divide up the kryptonite resistant armor, which causes Hank to get beat up pretty bad, which was helpful, until he puts on all of this. So he takes the parts of the robots and attaches it to his body to make him whole again, because the two of them were breaking off his limbs. So he then destroys the armor for both Supergirl and for Superboy. And Supergirl gets beat up pretty bad. Superboy gets ready to be obliterated, and that's when Superman uses all of his power, all of his energy, to break the kryptonite out of his bloodstream, causing it to turn white, going full on and destroys Hank Himshaw, to a point where he is ready to just blow himself up. However, because he runs out of battery power, he doesn't actually blow up. So the whole idea is Hank Himshaw is defeated. Metropolis is in shambles, but not completely destroyed. Supergirl is kind of healing from the kryptonite. Superboy is disappearing. So Lois and Clark are there to watch their son go back to the future, and Lois is concerned because, well, now that things have gone well, like, are you gonna, do you even exist and everything else? He's like, "Well, I'll see you guys in the future and everything else." and he disappears. What we find out, or what we think happens, is all the cells that turned white, which were originally green with kryptonite, are now turning black, and apparently Superman doesn't have his powers anymore. So the idea is Superman did die, but not the way we are so used to, which was the fact that he lost his powers. So we get a glimpse of what the future holds, and apparently they changed the future, which is now Lex is being the supreme overlord of the world, looking like he combined with Kryptonian tech, and is stopping Jonathan Kent, aka Superboy, from going back in the past to warn everyone. But the difference here is he's not Jonathan Kent, he's Jonathan Lane, which I find to be very interesting to find out why that is. We'll have to wait and see to know more. But that's what happened in that episode. First off, I have to say the episode was great. Well done. Loved every second of it. I mean, a lot of ups and downs. There were a lot of like parallels to the history of Trunks in this, where obviously Superboy is Trunks, and Supergirl was obviously being the Gohan figure, which I thought was really cool. Obviously, Hank Himshaw is basically supposed to be Cell. I thought all of it was great. But the fact that Superman lost his powers, I'm very curious to see where the rest of this season goes, because I would imagine he's going to go into a healing coma to get his powers back. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. But overall, like I said, phenomenal episode. The animation was great. The fighting was great. I mean, some of the best fighting we've seen in a while, especially with seeing technically two super, almost said Super Saiyans. That is not right. Wrong show. Superhero, like super beings, Superman level people battling, which was really cool. But we'll have to wait to see what's next. But obviously, we know that Lex is supposed to be now the main bad guy, which will be curious to see how that's going to work out, because he's obviously not going to be that powerful right away. So we'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.